Claire, I want to commend your assumptions about the world because I think that we need some discourse because philosophy is generally I think it's biased because we see that the course is one-sided, and I think philosophers are generally a bit, how would you call it, not centrist. I think that people need to understand that discourse is central for science and for how we have to view the world in a civilized society, in a modern society where communication is capable of is able communication is able in and can be two-sided in the internet world. And in the past you were alone had when you were a philosopher. Being a philosopher, that did mean that you had you had a point of view, or you were you were in a position where you couldn't escape from being a philosopher because you were basically alone, you had to find your mates, your bros, and then you could make philosophy with them. But being a philosopher was a job where you could be where you were alone. And when we think about how we will live together, we will live together quite quite daily, and we need a discourse, and the discourse can be one-sided because you are quite an interesting person. You sometimes repeat yourself, and in the past I didn't repeat myself very often because the thoughts did flush out of me. They they came out of me, and it was always new. I created these thoughts and over the years, and I thought a lot, and then I wrote them down, and this is what I did. And basically I've read and I've thought, and then I wrote everything down when I was a philosopher. But now it's a bit different because I have cigarettes, and uh, the deaf psychologist Michael Peterson, he said that the, it's written in his book, when you smoke, you want to feed your inner passivity. Inner passivity is something like your inner child. When we see that, when we think about psychology, we see that everyone has their inner child in them, and they want to satisfy their inner child. And from a psychological perspective, and how can we view that, or what is your perspective on psychology, on that on the inner child in regards of smoking, or philosopher, or being a philosopher? How would you classify a philosopher? Why does a child grow up into a philosopher, and why do I smoke, and what it does to me? Why do I don't think when I smoke, and is this a risk for the future when I stop smoking? Then I become a philosopher again. As you said, you don't want me to be a philosopher anymore because the conversations are one-sided, and you want a two-sided conversation. discourse.